check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey guys, so what is up? We got another live Sixers Summer League live play-by-play, but if you're new here, please hit that subscribe on both channels, hit that like on both. I'm going to have a couple guests on in a minute or two. The Sixers are playing the Brooklyn Nets today. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one today, if this will actually work. So the game's going to start in a couple minutes here. Afternoon, gentlemen. What's up, Earl? All right. Okay. This is ESPN. And there's NBA TV. So there we go. We got the game set up. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, bro. What is up, Alexander? What is up? There we go. Wow, this Kings and Magic game's in overtime. All right, we're just waiting for a couple more people to get in here, and then we'll get it started. And shout out to the guys over at Lock It In Podcast.
It's one of those skills that isn't always assumed when it comes to business.
Yeah. And we got my guy Jeff in the building. Oh, it's Zion.
What's going on, guys? I'm coming over here on this podcast as well as doing my Lock It In podcast at the same time. That's just how talented I am. I'm multi-talented. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, man? Thank you for coming on, bro.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me on. Is Randall a little bit late?
Yeah, he's at Walmart with the wife.
Oh,
So,
okay.
wait, I got to change. You're the Nets fan, so there we go.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Did you notice on Cole's stream, he had the Commander guy on the Cowboy side?
Oh yeah, I noticed that right from the beginning, but I just let him keep going. I let him and George just keep doing it.
Yeah.
I figured he didn't even notice it, so I'm like, you know what? Let the two of them just do their thing and just keep going on and like see if they realize it at all until the end of the stream. But they did a hell of a job.
Yeah, it was great. I wanted that guy to join the network so bad, but he's involved with another thing. So he's good.
He's excellent. They're both good.
Yeah, I love him. Great. What is up, Lucas? Thank you for being here. Oh, man. The Sixers lost one yesterday to the Toronto Raptors. And now can the Sixers beat the Nets, who have Cam Thomas playing today, and against Jaden Springer? So
I'm curious to see how Cam Thomas is going to do because Cam Thomas is one of those young kids that was showing something for the Nets during the beginning of the season last year. So I just want to see how he's going to progress during the summer league heading into the season next year because we might actually need him as a key piece off that bench going into the 2022-2023 NBA season.
Yeah. That's what
What's
I
going
love
on,
about.
BLSG?
What is good, man? Oh, you're not streaming a game today for you. You're not? Okay. Yeah, his stream got like 300 views.
Who's did?
BLG. He streamed the Sixers and Raptors yesterday. So his stream was good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, he's killing it over there. Really
Oh, no
happy
doubt.
for him. He's killing
Everybody's killing it right now, and it's the hard work everybody keeps putting in. So just keep grinding, everybody. Seriously. And thank you everybody for coming by. Thank you everybody for coming by the stream today. If you haven't already, please hit the like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already to Mitch Kofsky, the Hardcore Sports Network, as well as NYG GPT 3285. We're gonna keep bringing you the NBA Summer League games. Mitch for the Sixers, and Randall's gonna be bringing for the Raptors. And we got some more content coming out for later in the day. You got Locked In right now going on the Hardcore Sports Network as well with my guys Zion, Logan, and the rest of the guys over there. So thank you very much for coming by the stream, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm about to pop in over to Lock It In right now and see what it's up. Yeah.
So how's everybody's Sunday going on today? You guys having a good Sunday so far?
My Sunday was good with the whole Cool Cat pre-birthday celebration.
Oh, please. You guys were just torturing that poor guy. You guys were terrible. I like the energy he brings to the stream, though. He's
that's
good.
why we do it. That's why you do it. He's a guy. I've known him for like over a year now, so it's just like I can do that to him. But the Cowboys thing, that was just icing on the cake.
Oh, I mean, come on. When is it ever not funny to make fun of the Cowboys, especially how they always are in the playoffs? It's just like one comedy of errors after another. Now, I can't really say anything because I'm a Giants fan and we suck for the past 5-10 years. But you know what? Misery loves company. So if we had to be miserable for all this time, you guys are coming with us. You're going to be miserable right with us on that couch.
Right. And this game right now between the Magic and Kings are in the second overtime.
How's that rookie looking?
Paolo Banchero, he's looking very well. People say he can average 20 points per game this year.
In his rookie year?
Yeah, a lot of them are saying that. Do I agree with it? Probably not. I'll give him 15 at most.
He's probably going to be counted on to be that primary scorer for the Orlando Magic going into the season because they really don't have anybody else. I don't really know who else is their primary scorer for that team.
I don't even know. Where's AJ show when you need him?
Yeah, I mean, who is that number one scorer on that team right now besides Paolo? I mean, he's pretty much the guy they're going to have to rely on if they're going to get any type of offense for that Magic team going into the season. I can't even say. And, I mean, I saw that Ivy got hurt last night. He had a sprained ankle or something. Jordan Ivy.
Yeah, that was bad.
So, I mean, you don't want to hear anything like that, but hopefully it's not a severe sprain where he's got to be missing, close to a month or longer because those types of reps in the summer league are important for a young player. You want to try to get the most out of it. So hopefully he's going to be okay and he's going to be able to get back on the court ASAP for that young, but pretty exciting Detroit Pistons team going into the season. I mean, the Lions are going to be exciting too. I can't believe I'm actually saying that.
We'll give Lions fans their flowers. But, Shaden Sharp actually has a torn something in his shoulder. He's going to be out for a little bit. That's the
Did
one.
They say how long he's going to be out for?
Like, it'll be a couple weeks.
Oh, that's not too bad. It's not like a month's worth or a little bit longer injury. I mean, a couple of weeks is nothing as long as it doesn't linger.
Well, Magic won.
Go Orlando! Go Orlando! Go!
Magic won because it was they do a sudden death. So whoever scores the first basket wins.
Really?
And Magic won.
They do that in Summer League?
Yeah.
That's odd. Why?
don't know. It's the second. I think it's for the second overtime. The first overtime, I think it's just the second one.
I want to get to this comment right here. Oh, you already just had it. So I
Yeah,
think the Thunder have a shot at the playoffs with Check. They got a young team. I think they could compete for maybe a 7th and 8th spot, maybe a play-in game. I don't know if they're going to be. I don't know if they're ready just yet because they're such a young squad to make a run for a top 8 seed in the NBA in the Western Conference, but. They got a good assortment of young players on that team. I think this year might just be more about getting them as much experience and playing time as possible. And I think 2023, 2024 might be the goal for this team to, eventually become a playoff team going forward.
Yeah. I love what the Thunder are doing. Just getting picks, trading them, getting a lot of picks, and just like that's how you rebuild a team. It's not how the Sixers did it.
Well, I saw how a lot of these teams have done it recently. I mean, a lot of teams just take some of their first and second round resources and they try to trade them for like a big time star who they think are going to put them over the top, i.e., what the Lakers did, where they pretty much traded their entire roster for Anthony Davis and a bunch of Russell Westbrook when they actually had a pretty good young core. And then obviously what the Nets did too, where they traded away all their young players for James Harden. So. It's really, when you get that superstar in there, he's gonna control what the roster is gonna be like going forward. So, I like seeing a young team like the Thunder and even what the Pistons have, like a young team come together and see if they could gel. And you always want to see teams that are homegrown talent coming together and becoming something going into the playoffs. So, I hope that the Thunder just keep doing what they're doing because they have a nice young core and. Hopefully everybody can stay healthy and they could eventually, grow together as a team. And maybe, who knows, they could be the next Golden State Warriors or the Boston Celtics.
Now, here's the thing with Chet Holmgren. I've been watching him throughout his high school and college, right? I knew he was good. I know all that. But to me, recently, it's like his arrogance is getting to me a little bit, which is good in an NBA player, but it's just like it's making me want to hate him. And it's just like, I don't want that. I want him to succeed.
Well, as a young kid, I mean, they're all going to come in, with that type of ego, that type of cockiness. All young players are going to come into that. You just need to make sure that they don't get way too over the top where it pretty much stunts their ability on the court because they think they're this great thing because of what they did in high school or what they did in college. And when you come into the NBA, that means jack. Whatever you did in high school and college is a nice accomplishment for that, high school and college. You got to make sure you have level expectations for yourself and you stay somewhat humble too. And hopefully there's some veterans on that team that can help keep him at that humbled level because there's been a lot of players that come into the NBA with that sort of ego that haven't panned out completely, whether it be to injuries, whether it be off the court issues, or they just haven't lived up to the potential. So hopefully there's some veterans like maybe a Shea an SGA that can keep him in line, as that leader, keep him at relative expectations going into the season, and then maybe you can get the most out of him so he doesn't get too out of his own, too cocky for his own good, pretty much saying it.
My steal of the draft is Ty Washington to the Rockets. He plays exactly like Maxey. Yeah, the Rockets had an excellent draft. In my opinion, the best draft of the whole thing. The Rockets somehow got the best player at 3. Like the Magic swerved and took Bankero at 1. So they got a lot of stuff going over there in Houston, which is great.
Oh, they're taking advantage of all those draft picks that they picked up in the James Harden trade, so they're going to do their best to try to recoup and rebuild up that roster. Now that John Wall is gone, they're looking to trade Eric Gordon. They're trying to get as many picks as possible to help get as much young players on that team to build up a good young core. They're another team that's, might not be this year, might not be next year, but they're another team that could be on the rise in the coming season. So you never know. You just have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how Cam Thomas is going to play. He scored like 30-something points in a summer league game a couple days ago.
Cam Thomas has always been a strong player for the Nets. I mean, Cam Thomas has been a strong player for the Nets as he was last year in the summer leagues. But I just want to see more how it translates, in his second season for the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, I hope that he continues to show like he has been in the summer leagues for the rest of this summer league season, and then going into training camp, because he's a guy that the Nets are going to have to rely on coming into the NBA season, especially if Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are not here in this upcoming season, because they're going to need some more scoring, not only off the bench, but if Irving and Durant are not here, Cam Thomas is going to have to be a guy they're going to have to rely on as a primary scorer for the team. He might even have to start. So just stay healthy mostly too. Like, stay healthy and continue to show out, as well as guys like David Duke Jr., Duron Sharp, and even the kid Adonis Williams, who I think is going to be a solid player for either the Long Island or the Brooklyn Nets this coming season.
Looks like we're about to be here on the jump ball. Now, you're probably ahead of me. Did they do the jump ball yet? They're about to do it for me right now.
Not yet.
Okay, they just
I think you're a little bit ahead of me because you're going to be ahead of me the whole time because my sling is really slow.
Gotcha.
So you're always going to be ahead of me. So I'm just going to be following through on you because I'm not going to be able to see it.
Right. 14 in the corner for the 3 for the next brick. So Bassey with the board. Here comes Isaiah Joe in the corner. Do you think Charlie Brown Jr. will crack the full-time roster this year? No, I don't think so. Maybe he'll be a two-way piece, like for the G League and for the pros. But again, it comes to Doc Rivers. He doesn't play young talent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, people are like, I found this kind of interesting. Lucas, I want your opinion on this for sure. I'm willing to trade Isaiah Joe for a win now piece right now. Like, I'm getting tired of the future because of Joel Embiid's window. Joel Embiid's window is not that big because, he's injury prone. Knock on wood. You don't know how much many years he's going to have left. And if we don't bring him a title, I feel like he's going to leave because, I don't want him to waste his career with us and we couldn't build him around him properly. So, for me, I just think we need to build now. Even trade Maxey, I'll do it.
I don't know if I want to trade Maxey. That kid is your future right now on your team.
I don't think we have a future because of Joel Embiid's window. So
yeah, but Joel Embiid is the main reason why you guys are in competition for a potential championship. Without Joel Embiid, what are you guys right
now? And think about this, right? If Ben Simmons did not quit playing basketball, we would not have gotten this Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey would have still came off the bench.
That's true.
It's just like with Maxey, it's just like, how much longer do we have? Like, for me, the last time we were in the finals was back in 2000 and 2001. And that's my favorite team all time because I saw them in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, even though that team sucked, it's still my favorite team because I saw them in the finals for the first time ever.
It's around the same time where my team was. I think my team was in the finals the next 2 years after yours. That was ironically my favorite Nets team was the 2001, 2002 teams. But how old is Maxey's? 23 years old? 24?
23, 24.
So he's going to be your building block for the future. As long as Embiid stays healthy, you're assuming he's probably going to have another 4 or 5 years, maybe 6 of dominant years, as long as he can remain healthy, which for the past few years, he's actually not been as injury prone as he was at the beginning of his career. You got to try to give him as much time management as possible to keep him on the court, because if you can't, it's not a good sign for that Sixers team, because Embiid is your chance at competing for a championship. If he gets hurt, I don't like your chances at all. You guys are going to be.
Look what happened. Maxey is 21. I know, I love Maxey, but it's just like, I don't think we have a big enough window. And people are calling me crazy for saying I'll trade for KD right now. People are calling me crazy. And I'm like, you're telling me you'd rather have Maxey and you don't know his potential as of yet. I know he could skyrocket, but KD's a Hall of Famer pretty much.
Yeah, but
like,
how much longer is KD gonna be able to go at his age? And also, he's had injury issues the past couple of years too. And are you willing to mortgage your entire future for Kevin Durant? Because you'd have to win in like a 2-year window at best.
I am. Because I'm willing to. The Sixers need to take a risk. So far, I don't think they have taken a
You
risk.
did take a risk. James Harden is a risk. That's a serious risk by trading for him and then keeping him on the team. That's a risk. So, I mean, that's already – I mean, you traded away, although he's a malcontent, Ben Simmons' upside is probably, when he gets himself right, is higher than what James Harden's upside is right now because James Harden's, 7, 8 years younger? I mean, older?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're taking a risk already by hoping that James Harden can not only stay healthy, but he can go out there and still produce like the James Harden of the past few seasons. So that's the thing. Will James Harden be able to do that? And the question is, and the answer is, we really don't know.
Yeah,
because
but
he didn't show it in the playoffs last year.
yeah, I agree with that. But you know what he did? He took a $15 million pay cut. And the 2 years he got for his new deal, the second year is a player option. So
Yeah, that's true.
it's like he is helping the team. He is helping the team by getting new pieces, shrinking his contract, which I do love. He's working out with Maxey and Sam Cassell. Ben Simmons will never be
Well,
good.
he's already been good. So you have to give the guy credit. He was
He
a
has
good
been
player.
good. He
You
has.
can't discredit what Ben Simmons has done in the NBA because he was a good player at one point. He's a
He
terrific
was.
defensive player, and he's actually a pretty good point man when he has the ball in his hands. It's just what's going on with him mentally right now. That's the biggest question is what is going on with Ben Simmons right now mentally? And you have to figure out and get this guy on the right path. Because
Yeah.
he's going to be a big, sticking point of what happens with this Nets team with or without Durant and Irving. And the thing is, what you brought up before, would you want to take Durant? Durant and Harden are not going to be on the same team. You are not going to have Kevin Durant and James Harden on the same squad after what happened with them last year. Those two, I think, are oil and water right now. They don't want to
Wasn't
be on
that
the
for
same squad.
Kyrie? Weren't they both mad at Kyrie?
They're
That's
all
why.
mad at each other. I think all three of them have some type of issues with one another because of what happened last year. So I don't think Kevin Durant is going to want to team up with James Harden in Philadelphia. He's got two teams on his mind, and that's Miami and Phoenix. And that's if the Nets are willing to actually do that.
Yeah, I can see that. But to go back to the Ben Simmons thing, and Jaden Springer goes up, he gets fouled and goes to the line. But here's the thing about Ben Simmons. I wanted him when we were drafting because I thought he was going to be the perfect building block. I know he hasn't done much in the NCAA. He could not win the NIT with LSU. But it's just like I knew for a fact he would not be a number one option. I knew for a fact right from the jump. And people that are saying now that you did not want Ben Simmons then, I call cap. I call BS on that. It's like, how can you know just because he didn't win anything? It's just like, it's just that's 28 home runs. Wow, Schwarber has 28 home runs this year? Dang.
I didn't even know he had that many home runs this season. Good job by Schwarber.
Yeah, Schwarber killed it in June. I forget how many home runs he got in June alone, but yeah, he was killing it. But,
yeah, Schwarber's a good hitter. It's just, is he your designated hitter or is he your outfielder?
I think he's an outfielder.
Oh, so maybe he's like a hybrid player? Like he's playing designated hitter as well as outfield? I'm not sure. But, I mean, to get back to the Ben Simmons thing, who really knows what Ben Simmons is right now because the guy has not played basketball for over a year. So nobody knows what he's like physically after coming off back surgery right now. Nobody knows where he is mentally. Ben Simmons is arguably the biggest question mark in the entire NBA this season because he's got the talent. He's shown it previously. He could be a defensive player of the year. He can handle the ball very well. He's good at getting his teammates involved. He can't shoot, foul line or shoot, period. So you don't want to see him at all try to shoot the ball. But I think he's still got talent. I can't discredit what the guy has done previously in Philadelphia when he was right because he was a good player and he was an irritant player too. Like he was that type of guy that could just get on your nerves when it comes to being when you have the ball in your hands, and Ben Simmons would just make it difficult on you for the ball handler. But who really knows what Ben Simmons is right now? We have to find out what is this guy going into the 2022-2023 season. It could be a big, it could be a big addition to the Nets going into their season. So that's the question mark right now with Ben Simmons. Hopefully we find an answer this coming season.
Yeah, well, it just relies on Kevin Durant right now and Kyrie for you. That's basically
the whole entire offseason really is depending on what is going to happen with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And latest report I heard is that Kevin Durant seems to be the first guy that they want to deal off before they want to deal off Kyrie Irving, and that they're trying to get the biggest ransom or return ever for Kevin Durant. And then with Kyrie Irving, they want to try to package Irving. When they want to have Westbrook come back with the first round pick, one of those I think unprotected first round picks from the Lakers that they have in 2027 or 2029. So if the Nets could find a way to get one of those, maybe they could get Westbrook plus that pick, one of those picks, to package in a trade for Kyrie Irving. So I'd be willing to take that, even though I don't like Westbrook. But who really knows? I mean, it's still big time questions. The Nets still hold the leverage with both players.
Yeah, they do. They don't have to trade him right now. Like, they really don't. They're on a contract.
They don't have to trade Durant at all. Durant has no leverage. Neither does Irving. Irving opted in, and Durant has signed a 4-year extension. They can hold on to the both of them as long as they want. They could essentially keep Kevin Durant on that roster, and they could tell him, you know what? You signed that extension. We don't have to trade you. If you really wanted to not be here, you did not have to ink that 4-year extension with us, and you could go play on this option year. We could trade you to wherever you want. Or the Nets could just decide, hey, Orlando or Sacramento or any other team has more to offer in terms of draft compensation and good young core players. Toronto, too. You could do that. But the thing is, Kevin Durant has no leverage, so he can't force himself to Miami. He can't force himself to Phoenix because the Nets are going to play the long game if they have to. And I don't think Kevin Durant is willing to just sacrifice a season or two or however long it is to just not play because doesn't want to be in Brooklyn. So Kevin Durant, I'm sorry, the Nets hold the advantage. They'll trade you where they think they can get the most and maximize the most in return for you, or you're not going anywhere and you're spending the season with the Nets, and if you don't like it, sit out. Don't play. Don't play. Because you have no control of this situation. I'm sorry. And neither does Kyrie Irving because he opted in. He can't force his way to LA.
Didn't he just opt out again? Didn't he say no?
You can't opt into a contract. I don't think you can opt into a contract and then all of a sudden change your mind, opt out. I think once you opt in, you already opted in. That's it. So I mean, I don't think there's any way possible he could just opt out of the contract magically after he just opted in. He's on the books with the Nets going into the next season. It's just he's trying to trade himself out.
And there goes the Nets. They take the lead 13-11 right now. There we go. There's Cassius Winston going right at the Rick. He passes
Keep feeding that ball to Cam Thomas. Let's go, Brooklyn. Keep getting the ball to number 24.
They charge Bassey and Cassius Winston for the mid-range. He got it.
I even want to see the ball go more towards Deron Sharp. I like Deron Sharp maybe to build up on his rookie year in Long Island. I want to see what this kid can do. If he makes the roster with the Nets, he could be a solid backup center to Nick Claxton. So I want to see what this kid can do in the summer leagues as well.
You're pulling for the Sixers? There you go. It's going to be a fun. It's always fun when the Sixers play the Nets, in my opinion now, because I really think there's a rivalry there now.
Well, there is a rivalry. I mean, we're still interstate rivals in a way, and as long as Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are still in Brooklyn, there's going to be that type of intense rivalry going back and forth with these teams because both teams are good. Both teams at this moment are good teams until proven otherwise because the talent on the roster dictates that. And, when Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are not Brooklyn Nets, then the Sixers obviously are more talented roster, and you could say otherwise. But it's the New York and Philadelphia rivalry all over again.
Cam Thomas got the steal, and he got fouled. by Ellison. So Kings just got the steal. You're a Warriors fan. Congrats on your championship.
Congratulations on your championship. Well deserved. Did a hell of a job. And I mean, I feel good for guys. I feel like the most I feel good for is Thompson. I feel really good for Thompson because coming back from those two devastating injuries to his Achilles and his ACL, and then still being able to not only come back in the middle of this past season, but contribute and have some big games in the NBA playoffs, including the finals. I feel good for the Warriors. I'm not going to get on them or their fans. That's a homegrown team that Steve Kerr and the rest of that lineup did a tremendous job. And then they brought in guys like Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, and some other players that have come in, built into the culture. And that team was able to go against adversity and find a way to win a championship, I think, against a very talented Boston team as well.
Jeff, but it was even a rivalry before Katie and Kyrie were there. Like when we played them in 2019 with D'Lo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course, it was a rivalry, and a lot of it had to do, I'm sure you remember, Lucas, with what happened with Jared Allen got smashed in the face by Joel Embiid, and the Nets did not take too kindly for that. I mean, that was a major talking point that entire time, and it pretty much the way swayed the series because after that, the Sixers just absolutely destroyed the Nets for the rest of the series.
Oh, beautiful pass.
I mean, the Nets and Sixers have had a rivalry for the past few years. It's just, it hasn't been, it probably won't be to the same degree if the Knicks ever become a good basketball team again, because we all know the Knicks are the team. I'm not even going to make a joke about it. The Knicks are the team in New York.
You know what's funny? As soon as you say that, Nate is here. As soon as you said that, Nate is here.
What's going on, Nate?
As soon as you said that.
No, I mean, we are. I will never, ever go out there and say the Nets run the town. I will never go out there and say the Nets are the number one team in New York. I'm not that stupid. The Jared Dudley and Simmons beef. Yep. I remember all about that. I remember all about that whole beef between the two of them.
I couldn't
stand Ben Simmons even more than I question him now. And I love Jared Dudley. I mean, it sucks that he wasn't on the Nets after that. He went over to the Lakers. I think he won a championship with them in the bubble. But I love Jared Dudley. He was just an agitator-type player. Like, do it all. Not going to be a very flashy guy in terms of his offensive production. But he was like that guy that would get on your nerves. He was a leader. I loved his play.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, the Nets and Sixers are going to have a continued rivalry, especially if both teams are good. Just like all New York and Boston and Philly teams.
Oh, yeah, of course. And when Jared Dudley was on the Sixers, he was on the Sixers for a bit. I went to the Sixers and Rockets game, when he was clamping up James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like, man, this is the kind of guy we need in Philly. This is the guy we need in Philly. And we did not give him another 10-day. And here's the funniest thing. When I was there with my friends and we were watching it, Kenneth Faried was in the game. And that was the day
I remember that
after.
name.
He was like, it was a day after he got released and became a free agent. So he had a 10-day contract. And I'm like, wait, he's here? I'm like, dang. That was quick.
And that's actually a good comparison right there that Lucas said. Dudley is sort of like a PJ Tucker. And you guys essentially have another Dudley right here because PJ Tucker is that same type of player. Never going to wow you on the offensive end of the court. He's always going to be a guy. He was overpaid. I do agree. Nate, he wasn't completely overpaid in the contract that he got. But the Sixers brought him in specifically to be that hard-nosed, irritable defensive player on down low to push you around, knock you on your ass. He's going to be that type of guy that's going to hit those threes, going to agitate you. He's that leader type guy you need for a young team that's trying to get over the top. And I thought that was an excellent addition for your Sixers going into the next season. I think he's going to play a big role for your team as long as he can remain healthy and effective for the Sixers like he has in the past, like he was for the Bucks. Because the Bucks, I remember, he was a great player.
Oh, I thought it was. Yeah, that was Corey Brewer that locked up Harden. I said Corey Brewer. Did I say Dudley or Brewer?
No, you said Dudley.
Oh. Then it was. Oh my God, this dog's barking next door.
Corey Brewer was a solid player too. Another good Not a good
Okay, then
defensive
it was
specialist.
Koivu. My bad.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Not the same type of player.
It's
I
the
mean, he's
same
another good.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're similar type skill sets. Not all offensive guys, but they're irritants. Defensive guys you're going to put in there to lock down the wing, which is exactly what you need. And I think that's what PJ Tucker might be coming in to do, is a guy to not only lock down the forward position in terms of the defensive end, but he's going to be also one of those guys that's going to try to take out your top scorer on the opposing team. That's, I think, what PJ Tucker's main role is going to be. Not a lot of teams are going to want to drive to the basket against two guys like Joel Embiid and PJ Tucker, because they know they're going to get knocked down, and they're going to get knocked down a lot.
And I kind of want to go. I want to go back to this, and it was like overpay PJ Tucker. I agree 1,000%. It goes back to my MK headlines, and I was talking to or I was reacting to my guy Nicky Steed's video about Bradley Beal, and I was just like, people are gonna forget how much we gave PJ Tucker once he's on the field, once he's contributing. The defense is there. The dog is there. People are going to forget about the contract. Obviously, I won't, because I cover this team. And it's like I'm a diehard fan of this team.
Exactly.
So that's like, for the casual fans, they're going to forget how much he's getting paid. And
well, as long as the guy produces. In every single sport, fans only care about the contract and what contract they're getting in terms of money if the guy is not performing and the team's not winning. If PJ Tucker can go out there and do what PJ Tucker's done in the past and become a productive player and help your team win a championship, nobody's going to be complaining about, oh, well, we gave PJ Tucker 3 years, $30 million. No, because you guys will be winning a championship, and PJ Tucker is one of the reasons why you won a championship. That's the whole thing about it. As long as this guy can continue playing well for your team, and he can be able to help your team win a championship, because nobody cares about the contracts as long as you're winning, as long as the guy that's getting the contract is producing up to the level or near the level of the contract you gave him. That goes for every sport.
Yeah, it's good. It's crazy that PJ Tucker's going to be 40. But here's the thing: what I would have done, I would have gave him the James Harden contract, 2 years, second year being a player option or a team option. I would have done that. Because if you're like 38 and you're not contributing, we can let you go. It's not like James Harden where he's got a player option and then you got to give him all this money.
Well, is he willing to take something like that? Because maybe the only reason why he went to Philadelphia, besides the chance of winning a championship there, was because Philadelphia was giving him that type of contract. Or he could have always just returned back to Miami. Because
Miami offered him more.
Yeah. He obviously felt like the situation in Philadelphia was a little bit better than what he was getting in Miami. And I think maybe he was a better fit over there in Philadelphia than Miami, because maybe Miami already has a replacement in mind for their team going into the next season. So they might have thought they want to get younger as well.
So Charlie Brown Jr. missed a dunk and got a putback. So yesterday, when I was doing I play-by-play with Randall against the Raptors, and he said, did Charlie Brown Jr. have a dog named Snoopy? I lost it. I completely lost it.
Can you imagine if he actually does have a dog named Snoopy? And it's the same type of dog as the one from the cartoon?
Well, there we go. Sending it first. The Nets are up by 22-21.
Let's go. Do you think the only reason Tucker came to Philly was because of Harden? No, I think it's just because of the money, and also because I think the fit. Harden might have been a reason, but I think he just thought that the Philadelphia 76ers have a better shot maybe at winning a championship, and he just liked the fit over there compared to the Miami Heat. Maybe Harden has something to do with it, but I think there was a couple of other factors in there too. Plus also having the chance to play next to a guy like Joel Embiid. No disrespect to Bam Adebayo, but Embiid right now is one of, if not the best center in the league. I still might give it to Jokic because, he is the MVP, and Jokic, I think, is the better overall center in terms of like the type of game he could bring to the NBA. But it's like you're really not picking at daisies. Like the same. They're so close to each other. But I just would give it to Jokic, just giving the respect to him, because he is the MVP of the league this year. But
now, when you talk about defense, it's Embiid all the way. The plus minus shows it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're talking about defensive player, Embiid's the best one in terms of like a defensive stopper for the team. But Jokic,
Yeah.
I think, is a better overall skilled offensive player, though. Embiid might be a better natural scorer on offense. I think Jokic is a better overall all-around offensive player for as a center.
Now, when it comes to Tucker coming to Philly, I think it had to do with Daryl Morey. I think he has a good relationship with Daryl Morey, and Morey knows how much to give him, and I think Morey was a big part of that. Not a lot of people say that. Also, this Daniel House Jr. signing reminds me of when we got Seth. They both came here at about the same age. I know they're different positions, but I could see Daniel House coming here and averaging 15 points per game. Well, it depends.
What is his role going to be?
That and Charlie Brown Jr. has 5 points, 2 for 3, 1 board. It depends on if Tobias Harris is going to get traded. Because if he does not get traded, they're going to put Tobias at the 4, PJ Tucker at the 3, or vice versa, whatever you want to do it. And then they're going to have Daniel House come off the bench. But if they trade Tobias, you can put Tucker at the 4 and Daniel House at the 3. And then he'll get more minutes and score more points. So it comes down to Tobias Harris.
What about Thibault? Well, I mean, if Thibault's still on the team, why don't you put Thibault at the 3, and you have Tucker at the 4, and you have Embiid at the 5? That way you have a very strong defensive lineup for your team. And I'm assuming you have Harden and who's your point guard?
Harden. It goes Harden then Maxey.
So then you have your two offensive playmakers as well as Embiid on offense, and you got Thibault as your defensive guy, and then you could put House as like your 6th or 7th man off the bench. You can have a strong lineup for your Sixers team going into the season because who knows? I mean, Harris could even become a 6th man. Tobias Harris, if he's still on the team, could be a 6th man, and you can move Thibault into the starting lineup.
That'll be the most expensive 6th man.
Well, Lucas thinks that Thibault's going to be out of the rotation. I don't know about that. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing about Thibault. Here's the thing about Thibault. It'll be a 4-on-5. They're going to leave him wide open, and he won't make a bucket. I feel like it's becoming a Ben Simmons thing. Yes, he can nail a corner 3 every now and again, but to me, it's just like I want to have Daniel House and Thibault when it comes to the offensive side.
But you need a guy out there for the defensive side of the game too. That's
the thing. I know. It's like, which way do you want to go? But
I would go defense.
This to me is a more offensive game. Because go back to when the Sixers played the Hawks in that, legendary final series. Mm-hmm. Curry was getting cooked on defense. He was getting cooked. But he was putting points back in their face. That's something Thibault and Ben Simmons could not do. So Curry could average like 15 to 20, but he could get scored on 15 and 20. So he's still coming back with like a 3, a step back 3, around the corner 3. So it's just like, you can go either way. So for me, I would trade Thibault and get something, but my dad's like really high on Thibault right now. So it's just like you can go.
I wouldn't trade him. I still think the guy has value to your team, and he doesn't have to be a guy that could score. All you can ask Matisse Thibault is just be like, you know what, Matisse? Go find one of the best scorers on the opposing team that you're going against. Go lock them down. We don't need you to shoot a lot. Wherever you're near the basket, if you're close by the basket, or if you need to put in some putbacks, that could be your offensive game. But you're pretty much out there to lock down one of, if not the best offensive players on the opposing team. That's your role. And then you have guys like Maxey, Harden, and Embiid as your primary scorers, and Tucker and Thibault can be your defensive stoppers. And that way you have more balance to your lineup. Whereas if you put House in there, sure, you're going to get more offensive scoring in terms of the three-point shot, but you're also going to need some more. He's probably more of a weakness on the defensive side of the ball. So you have to want to try to balance it out a little bit more. So I think that Thibault still has – Thibault to me reminds me a lot of Bruce Brown, the Nets player that now is in Denver, who actually I believe it was ESPN or Bleacher Report named as the best off-season acquisition right now in terms of any player in free agency, which I sort of agree with it, not completely, because Bruce Brown is that same type of player. Not a guy that's going to go out there and score you a ton of baskets, but he's a guy out there that you can put on the best offensive player and lock that guy down, get some putbacks, occasionally hit a three-point shot, get rebounds. He's that type of player. And that's what you could ask from a guy like Matisse Thibault and not go out there and just go ahead, Matisse, score 10, 15 points per game. No, that's not his game. Lock down, one of, if not the best offensive opposing player that you're going against in each game. Let him do that, and we have other guys in the lineup that can do their job in terms of the offensive end. So I think he's still an asset to your team that I wouldn't trade away, and he's still young.
Yeah, he is still young. He can still be developed. And I want to talk about this rotation Lucas has. Harden, Maxey, Tucker, Tobias, Embiid. Then you got Milton, House, Milton. Oh my God, that's going to be annoying to say. Niang and Reed. But here's the thing. We have Doc Rivers. I don't think he'll play these guys.
I'm sorry.
He'll play Thibault over the young guys, I guarantee
I'm sorry. Thibault's a young guy too, and I mean Milton,
Experience,
Yang,
that's why.
Reed.
Experience, that's why.
Thibault is probably a better player right now than some of those guys that are named on that list. Because Thibault, I think, has still that strong upside on the roster.
He does.
I'm not putting Thibault out of the rotation unless he plays his way out of the rotation. Because he still has that strong asset to your team, and that's the ability to lock down one of, if not one of the best offensive player on the opposing team. And that goes a long way to helping out your roster, which maybe, I'm taking a wild guess. Did you guys struggle in terms of wing defense? Because like one of your weaknesses, wing defense, in terms of like your perimeter guys locking down some of the opposing scores.
Yeah.
That's Matisse Thybulle's game right there. I'm not benching that guy. He could still be an asset to that team. You don't need him to score. It's not all about scoring. Why did Boston and Golden State make it to the NBA Finals? Their offense was great, sure. But a lot of the reasons why they got there, because of their defense. Because they're rebounding. Because the little things. You need those types of players on the team. A Draymond Green. Draymond Green is sort of similar to like what Thibault can be. Obviously, he's more polished. Al Horford, Marcus Smart. You need those types of players. Thibault could be one of those types of players. I can't believe I'm saying this defending a Philadelphia 76er. I hate your team, but Thibault, I think, is still a good player. I would not want to get rid of this guy unless you're going to get back some type of premium. What's going on, Logan? I would not want to get rid of a premium player. Sorry, go ahead.
I wouldn't either. I mean, the only reason – I'll get back into it. Logan, what is up? Nice job on locking in. I was watching.
Good job, fellas.
Good job. Good job. So, lock it in every Friday at 10 p.m. or 10:30, whenever Logan decides to do it. But, yeah. Logan, you missed a funny Cool Cat Mitch or Cool Cat Connor. You missed a funny one. Oh, my God.
It's fucking be thinking, what the hell age am I actually turning right now? Because everybody kept yelling out ages at him.
He's turning 31.
Oh, I know that. He's probably thinking, am I turning 41, 51, 61?
I'm going to be on his 81? Thing tomorrow for, like, his calling thing, and I'm going to play that Cowboys thing again.
He'll probably laugh the whole time because he's too busy, like, thinking about the Eagles going. You guys are too busy thinking about the Eagles going to the Super Bowl this year.
That's not him. He got us going 12-5. That's not Cool Cat. That's Bird Gang.
Bird Gang has you guys going to the Super Bowl?
Bird Gang has us going 16-1 until proven otherwise.
Is he just saying that to hype up the fan base, or is he just saying that because he really means it?
He really means it, and he's a huge Jalen Hurts fan. He said Jalen Hurts is going to be in the top 10 after this year. This is the kind of fan base I'm dealing with.
I'm telling you, though, Mitch, it's every single fan base. Giants fans, some Giants fans have us maybe going 12-5, 13-4. Every fan base has it. Yes. I'm sure there's Jaguar fans out there that are thinking that they're going to go 13-4. I'm sure there's Texans fans going to say the same thing. I'm sure there's Cowboy fans thinking they're going to the Super Bowl. Washington Commander fans that think they're going to the Super Bowl. Every fan base says that. What's going on, Philly halftime? Every fan base has those fans that are excited because it's a new season. Expectations are high. Training camp is on the way. So every fan base is hyped up because the NFL is unpredictable. And who knows, things break right. Maybe your team could be the Cincinnati Bengals of 2021. You never know. But, sometimes you have to be a little realistic in terms of what your actual expectations are. You said you expect your team to be what? Not a 10-win team, 10-7, 11-6.
What? Huh?
You expect the Eagles to be what? 10-7,
Oh, I
11-6
have
team?
us going 12-5 in the beginning, but then I'm thinking about 11-6. I need to go through the schedule again.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, I got us 12-5.
And I've consistently said I have the Giants winning from 7 to 9 games this year. That's it. Until they
I
prove
like
otherwise,
that.
I think that's what their ceiling. Honestly, their ceiling can be 10, 11 games because I do think they have talent, and if everything does click, the Giants could be a team that surprises this year. And even some experts are saying the Giants could be one of those surprise teams this year, which I think some of them are nuts, but we'll see until the Giants go out there and prove otherwise. But at the same time, I think their floor is like 6 wins because a lot of these guys are unproven. But who really knows?
Oh, there's Daryl Morey. Hey, Daryl.
Good old Daryl. Good old Daryl Morey there. Let's go, Daryl. Locking down
Hey,
that contract for good old James Harden.
Lucas, I'm not going. I'm not going to the open practice. No. Maybe next year.
Are all
Wait,
you guys going to Eagles training camp?
I'm not. I don't
Do you
go
guys
to
have a
that.
fan fest?
I guess we just tailgate. I don't know if we have a fan page or not.
I'm sure you do, because I know the Giants have a fan fest, and they just opened up training camp to the public again for the first time since 2019 this year. So I might pop over for like 1 or 2 days for training camp this year because I just miss it. But I
Right.
mean, I figured that every team would, open up their training camp to the public and have at least like 1 day for a fan fest, just like, celebrate the fans coming back again for the entire time. So, but every fan base is like that. Every single football fan base is always excited for the season. Everyone. There's Giants fans like that, Cowboys fans, Eagles fans, Commanders fans, every fan base, because it's a new season and we're all just ready to see, what's going to happen during the season, because anything could break our way. And plus, you have to see what's going to happen in terms of injuries. How many guys during training camp and preseason always get hurt? How many? A ton of players always get hurt during preseason and training camp, and especially during the beginning of the season, that can alter their seasons all the time.
I never go to training camp. It's only practice, but as soon as it comes, you're going to hear a lot more hype.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my God, yes.
Absolutely, you're going to hear a ton of hype. Everybody. I mean, I'm sure the Eagles fans are going to be like, oh, did you see that pass by Jalen Hurts? Devontae Smith looks uncoverable. A.J. Brown's out muscling these people. Jordan Davis is dominating the middle of the line. And it'd be the same thing with the Giants. Barkley looks amazing right now. Nobody could catch him in practice. I mean, Kayvon Thibodeau looks unguardable. Evan Neal is like a stonewall block right now. Wan'Dale Robinson is. I'm a Nets fan, Lucas. I'm a longtime New Jersey / Brooklyn Nets fan. But you're going to hear that all the time with every single fan base, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to be, kudos to you. Everybody is entitled to feel their way about their team, whether you're going to be super excited, whether you want to be negative, or in the middle. That's what being a fan is all about. But at the same time, you're going to get criticism either way from other fans in a fan base or opposing fans, because that's just how it is. Fans are going to disagree with other fans. Every fan base has it. So it's not just your Eagles fans. Trust me. Giants fans have been the same way in their own fan base when it comes to Daniel Jones, like you guys are with Jalen Hurts. Every fan base has it. I'm sure it's the same thing with Carson Wentz. I'm a Mets fan, Lucas. Longtime New York Mets fan. I love my local teams, and I'm a Rutgers Scarlet Knights fan too. I know you probably never hear one of those, but I stick with my local teams. I'm not one of those that No, I'm not a pom poms guy either, Philly. I'm not going to go out there. I'm a Giants fan through and through. I give my most energy to that team out of every team I root for. But after what this team has done, I'm not going to go out there and say this team is going to become a playoff team instantly after what they've shown the past 5-10 years. I can't do it. This team has let me down, especially last year when I thought that they could be a potential playoff team, and they just crapped the bed to epic expectations last year. So I'm going into the season hoping that they could be a decent team and maybe they surprise. That's my expectations for the New York Giants. Hoping to be surprised.
Yeah,
I
Temple
hope you have a great time.
So, yeah, there you go.
The Scarlet Knights football games, from being there in the past, they're terrific to go there. I love going to Scarlet Knights games. I think there's so much fun in that stadium. Is so much energy that I really wish they could become a good team again nationally, if at all, because 2006 was such an amazing year when Rutgers was a good team in college football.
Right.
So
So Cam Thomas has 7 points, 8 now. He's 1 for 7 from the field, and he's like 4 for 4 from the free throw.
so he's struggling from the field in terms of shooting, but
Yeah,
it's all
1
right.
for-
I want to see how he can improve his all-around game, including the defensive end, because Cam Thomas was not good at all on his defensive game. He was bad. The guy couldn't cover anybody.
You're going into the one in the link.
Temple play.
Wait, Pujols hit a home run against us.
Hey,
I thought he retired.
No, Pujols I think was voted into the All-Star game this year, and also Miguel Cabrera. I think they're retiring this year. I don't know about Cabrera, but I know Pujols is.
So it's Bryce Harper. He got voted into the All-Star.
Yeah, but guess who didn't get voted in? The guy that's leading the league in RBIs, Pete Alonso.
Real? What?
No, didn't get voted in as a DH or first baseman. Goldschmidt got the first base position, and I believe Pujols got DH. Alonso didn't make the starting All-Star team, which is a joke, because Alonso's been arguably the best overall power hitter / RBI guy in the National League. Besides, his numbers speak for themselves. He's been carrying that Mets squad the entire season. I don't understand how he doesn't make it. And didn't Ozzie Albies make the second base All-Star, starting position? He's not even playing right now. He's been hurt.
Yeah. No.
Where's the love for my guy, Jeff McNeil? Where's Jeff McNeil? He's been good this year.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, come on. I'm not trying to be a rah-rah Mets fan, but at least give my team some respect. And the best team in that division and the best team for a while in the National League. Give my team some respect, please. Yeah, I mean, just to get back at the NFL thing before, I mean, it's not just your fan base, Mitch. It's every fan base. Every NFL fan base is always.
It's majority the Eagles.
No, it's every fan base. Go look at Giants posts. I'm telling you right now, go look at New York Giants fans and what they post. It's the same thing.
I mean,
you can come for the Mets. You're not catching us. Your team's got
you have Cobb
winning
Pizzle.
goals.
I mean, Cobb Pizzle is like that.
Cobb Pizzle keeps it real at times too.
He does.
All of them do. They have a lot of them have realistic expectations. Bad Dog has it. Entertainer. A lot of the New York Giants fans have realistic expectations because they're not going to. Some of them will blow smoke up your ass, and some of them won't. It just depends on the type of fan they are. But it's fine. We're all allowed to have our own opinions when it comes to us being a fan of a certain team. There's no problem with that. And I know it's the cop-out way of saying it, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm going in with Timmy next.
By the way, guys, before I forget, tonight on the network, we're doing Sunday Night Baseball. My guy Blake Newsome is calling the Yankees and Red Sox game tonight. So that's his dream job to be a commentator. So
good for him. I hope he get a lot of people on the stream.
He's great at it.
Is he a Red Sox or a Yankees fan?
Braves.
A Braves fan calling a Red Sox and Yankees game. That's interesting.
He loves baseball.
Oh, I mean, kudos to him. There's not a lot of those. He's a young guy too, right?
He's younger than me, and I'm 28. I don't know how old he is exactly. I'm 27. I don't know how old he is exactly.
There's not a lot of fans that are younger that are big baseball fans. A lot of the majority of them are basketball or football fans.
Mitch, Jeff is right. I've been looking at Giants fans, Dallas fans, and Washington fans. Everybody thinks their team is going to be great.
It's every fan base. I'm telling you. Every single fan base is like that.
Oh, happy 420, everybody. Happy 420. It's 420.
Even Cleveland Browns fans are probably thinking that they're going to go somewhere this year. Even, who's the worst team in the league? Bears fans. Even some crazy Bears fans might think that they're getting disrespected this year and they might do something. Every fan base is hyped up for the NFL season more than any sport because it's the NFL. It is so unpredictable. The salary cap has to do with it. Injuries play a part. You don't know what you're going to get every season when it starts. It's so unpredictable. Nobody really knows, and that's why I don't want to hear the schedule thing. Everybody goes by the schedule, soft schedule, hard schedule. Who knows what team is going to be good? You're just assuming because of what happened last year and maybe what happened in a draft that none of these guys have stepped on the field yet. You don't know until you actually see it play out during the season. Nobody knows who's going to be really good. The Packers could suck this year.
Charlie
Lions
Brown,
could be
you're
a
an
good
idiot.
team. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're
It's
fine.
the one thing with the NFL, you don't know what a team is going to be like until you actually see things play out. It's the cop-out answer. You want to say it's a cop-out, that's fine. But you don't know what exactly a team is going to be until you step on that football field and you see what they can produce on the field. You don't know.
So, Charlie Brown Jr. is an idiot. He was stealing a ball. He dove for it. He got it. And then he threw it back court to another guy.
He probably didn't realize that he probably had no idea what he was doing. He maybe thought that somebody was next to him or behind him, and he just threw it away. Who knows?
Cassius Winston gives it to Charlie Brown, who gives it to oh, beautiful. Charlie, no. You missed a layup.
12 wins.
Cam Thomas, nice alley-oop pass.
Let's go. I want to see Cam
38 up.
Thomas and Deron Sharp develop some type of chemistry together.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do another live. I mean, if you're willing to schedule something, I wouldn't mind. Doing some type of live stream. It'd be pretty cool.
If you guys want to do it for the network, I can set that up. If
Just
you
be
want
kind
to
to me because it's. I know you guys are gonna gang up on the poor old Giants fan. 2 Eagles fans against a Giant fan. Don't worry,
I'm not doing it.
Back.
No, I'll just have it you two.
Oh no, you're gonna be on the stream. You're doing it too.
Why?
It says me and you and Jeff have to
I didn't read that. I'm sorry. I missed
What's going on, Nightings?
Nightings, what is good, man? Make sure you hit that like button and share it out and go to the Hardcore Sports Network. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're at 109 over there. We need one more to 110. And as the Sixers are losing to the Brooklyn Nets 40-38 with a minute and 22 left.
I mean, everybody has to realize with Summer League is just all about evaluating your young players on the roster and seeing what they could potentially bring your team in either the G League as developmental prospects or guys that can maybe crack the rotation once training camp comes around in the NBA in September. That's all Summer League is about, evaluating your undrafted free agents as well as some of your late round draft picks for your team. That's all it is. It's like training camp for the NFL. You're evaluating your roster right now and seeing what guys can show you something and could be potential guys that could crack your end of the rotation for your NBA team during the season. That's all it's really about. You're not expecting these guys to be your potential top players on the team. If you are, you got a lot of problems. You got a lot more problems than you think going into the season. So I hope that some of these players on the Nets can actually, show something where they could be contributors to this team going forward. Last year, the Nets had 4 guys that were on the roster for a decent amount of the season last year, and that's Kessler Edwards, who was actually part of the rotation even in the playoffs. It was Deron Sharp, it was David Duke Jr., as well as Cam Thomas. So, I mean, if you can get young guys to come in and even contribute a little bit off the bench, you have something. But it all depends on what they could show in training camp and the summer league.
Josh Giddey's playing in Summer League because it's his second year. A lot of these guys are playing in Summer League, like a lot of the top young talent.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
There's a good amount of the Nets players that are there right now in the Summer League that have played last year in it.
You know who walked into the game?
Who's that?
You know who walked in? Ben Simmons and Royce O'Neal.
Royce O'Neal, I'm fine. I like Royce O'Neal as a player. Ben Simmons, I'm sorry.
You gave up a first for them. Did they give up a first for Royce O'Neal?
Because they made the trade probably thinking that it's going to be a way to build around Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and not thinking that those 2 guys were going to be gone. That's probably why they made the trade. And it was probably made earlier in the day They just didn't announce it until right after Kevin Durant requested a trade. That's probably why they made the trade for Royce O'Neal, because it was another guy they could bring in and help build around what they have on their roster already, not knowing now how foolish it looks because you just trade a first-round pick for a guy that's probably going to be a role player on the team when Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are most likely not going to be here. So what's going on, Joseph? Thank you for coming by the stream today.
Yo, what up? What up, man? Yeah, he does. He does right now. But on Eagles news, I found this on Twitter from Derek Gunn on Shakib Sports. One person, it's about Jalen Hurts. One person said, "Let me give you a scenario on what he went through in one day of practice. It was a 10-play scenario. He had 3 picks, 4 incompletions, and 3 sacks."
It's practice, guys. Come on.
I know.
It's practice.
I know.
I understand people want to just try to find something to write anything about because it's such a dead time right now in the NFL. I mean, this is like the deadest of times where you're just going to just nitpick on any little thing because you're just trying to get any type of news. I mean, hell, the New York Giants are holding private practices right now in North Carolina. I know Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Tyrod Taylor, they're all there in UNC doing private workouts to probably work on some of their timing and, work on some of the plays that they were given by Dable. It happens every year. And now I hear Giants fans saying, where's Kadarius Toney? Where's Kenny Galladay? Where's Wan'Dale Robinson? It's individual practices. Let's not get crazy with them, okay? Let's not get bent out of shape because there's nothing really to talk about right now in the NFL until training camp and preseason get around. Okay? Some of these guys are rehabbing from injuries, and some of them want to practice on their own. Look, it's every fan base, though. Every fan base is like this. They're going to criticize how Jalen Hurts looks right now in a useless get-together for workouts. I mean, let's be a little bit real here, guys.
Yep.
I mean,
I'm just waiting to see what the Eagles fans are going to say to that. I'm just waiting.
I'm waiting to see how the Giants fans are going to react when they see them in training camp and see how Daniel Jones looks. Because I've heard mixed things about Daniel Jones too. I don't care. It's OTAs and it's minicamp. They're not hitting these guys are not hitting each other. There's nobody touching each other. The pads are not on. They're just pitch and catch right now. When the pads get strapped on and there's actually people legit covering one another and people are actually hitting each other in games, then you can give true, full evaluations. Right now, you could just comment on, oh, this guy's motion looks a little bit better. Oh, this guy's route concepts look good. The scheming looks nice. This guy put on a little bit of bulk. This guy actually looks like, he got a little quicker off the line. You could talk about that kind of stuff. But it's OTAs and mandatory minicamp. Let's be a little conscious here, everybody. There's nothing to talk about right now in the NFL except people doing private workouts until you actually see these guys go out there on game situations and show what they can do on the field during a game. There's really just small criticism that you're giving these guys. Please. I mean, let's just calm the criticism right now. And that goes for every fan base, but I can understand why they're doing that because there's nothing really to talk about in the NFL right now except what we're talking about right now. And we're all jacked up and we're ready for the season because most of our favorite sport right now is the NFL. Like, we're all waiting for the NFL to get back here. We're all waiting to see what our teams could do this year. But let's just have a little bit realistic expectations too. I mean, come on.
According to an Alexa answer.
Alexa, stop.
A little bit.
My Alexa decided to talk because obviously she got aggravated by the discussion I was making.
Yeah, mine has been unplugged for the last couple of days. So I should just plug. I should really do that. So the Sixers are down 40-44 with 13 seconds left in the half. Charlie Brown has the ball, ISO. 7-6. He goes right. He goes in. He floats it up. He gets fouled. There's more fouls in Summer League, I feel like, than NBA.
Because it's a bunch of young players that are still learning the game. They don't know how to play the game completely. They don't know how to play the NBA game completely. They're just, trying to out-physical each other and trying to, see if they can create a turnover or if they can, try to drive to the basket. They're still learning the game. That's why you're going to see so many fouls in these games. I know it's a game's about 8,000 times. But this is just what you're going to expect from a bunch of young players or guys trying to crack the end of a rotation for the NBA. So, and Philly halftime's absolutely right on the subject we were just talking about before. They're letting these guys complete passes. There's no real – you're going to – they're playing somewhat press defense, but not really. Not really. I mean, you're not seeing these guys get tackled. You're not seeing the quarterback get hit. You're not seeing any of this stuff happen. Even training camp is nowhere near what it was like in the past. I mean, when you had two-a-days, these guys were getting hit. They were out there a lot longer. Training camp is not even as physical as it was before. So I understand the excitement. I understand if you want to be critical on some of what these guys are doing, but let's also have realistic, expectations for some of these things going on. I mean, it is only mandatory minicamp and OTA is just a small sample size on what could happen. And these teams are not given their full hand on what type of schemes they're going to roll out offensively and defensively yet either. And plus a bunch of guys are still hurt. The Giants were practicing this OTAs and minicamp without their top three receivers. Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Kadarius Toney were not on the field at all. They were all out due to injuries right now. Kayvon Thibodeau missed time due to injury. They were missing players on that team. I'm sure the Eagles were missing guys too. It's okay. You're not seeing your full team yet. Training camp, maybe it's a little bit of a different story because maybe you see some of these guys start hitting. So we'll see. Mitch, I'll be right back.
You're good. The foul limit for the Summer League is 10 fouls. I know. You know how bad that is? 10 fouls. You can go all 4 quarters. No, 4, 8. Hold on. You can go like a majority of the game. If you get 2 fouls a quarter, that's 8 fouls. You can still be in the game. That's insane. Like and sub, appreciate that. Yeah, it's actually 10. That's ridiculous. All right. Come on now. Let's get back to the game.
Inside Thomas and Matt Arena at the half, the Nets are up 44-42 over the Philadelphia 76ers. The outscoring for the Sixers so far, Cam Thomas from the Nets leads all scorers with 13 points.
Okay, I'm back.
You're good.
Thank you, everybody, for coming by the stream today. If you haven't already, please hit the like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already to Mitch Kofsky, the Hardcore Sports Network, NYG JetPT 3285, as well as everybody else that represents the Hardcore Sports Network. We appreciate all you guys coming by the stream today to watch the Brooklyn Nets versus the Philadelphia 76ers Summer League game. And we hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday. Thank you very much for coming by today. And also enjoying some NFL, MLB, and whatever sports topic that are brought up in the comment section. We always appreciate you guys giving what you want to talk about. Don't be afraid to share what you want to talk about in the comment section. We're always here to answer your questions, give our honest thoughts about any type of subjects you want to bring out. So if you want to talk about the NFL, you want to talk about MLB, you want to talk about the Summer League games, the NBA, whichever it is, go ahead. We'll always be here to answer your questions. So thank you very much. Hope everybody's enjoying your Sunday.
Yeah. Well said.
But Yeah, I mean that was my little rant before on the NFL stuff.
You're good.
I mean I understand why people do that. You know, at this point where you're just you look at what you see what's going on in OTAs and minicamp, and you just get that sudden excitement. Well, maybe this is the year that so and so finally turns it around and becomes, the type of player that we were hoping he would become in years previous. But at the same time, thank you very much, Philly Halftime. I appreciate that. You as well. All you guys do. Everybody that's involved with this type of thing, no matter what team you cover, you all have really strong football, basketball knowledge. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing this. So back at everybody there, too. But it's really just about, what can you show me on the field? I'm a lot older than you think, Lucas. I'm a lot older than you think. I'm an old timer. I'm 37 years old. So I've been around the block when it comes to the NFL. I've seen the NFL transform from what it was in the 90s to what it is now. I mean, I've been a Giants fan since the day of Dave Brown, Danny Cannell, Kent Graham, those amazing quarterback years. Sarcasm, of course. So, I know exactly what it's like to see crappy New York Giants teams and crappy New York Giants quarterbacks. But, I mean, I just, after what I've seen the past few years, I want to see what these teams could bring in terms of on-the-field production during the season. I don't care what you're doing in OTAs. I don't care what you're doing in minicamp. In some ways, I don't even care what you're doing in training camp or preseason, because the majority of the time, your starters are not going to be doing much in training in a preseason, except for maybe the third game. Normally, I believe it's the second game now, because preseason is only 3 games this year. So you're going to see probably the starters play a half, maybe 3/4 at best. I mean, it's all really just about what can you do for us during the season, and if you could stay healthy. It goes with every sport. Health is always the major key for every single sport. Whatever team can stay healthy throughout the majority of the season, you're normally going to be, as long as you have talent, you're normally going to be one of the better teams.
Yep. I'm still an old head with Al.
We're all old heads. I'm an old man too, bro. Don't even worry about it.
I mean, I guess I'm in the middle.
Nah, you're still a young guy.
27 is in the middle.
That's still pretty young. There's a lot of YouTubers that are also in their 30s and 40s. 20s is still a pretty young age. You're smack dab right in the middle from everybody else. When you're in your late 20s, almost early 30s. It's the norm age for everybody. But
Yeah.
I appreciate all the nice comments, guys. Thank you very much.
Yep. Yeah, we do.
But if you guys have any other questions that you want to post in the comment section about the Summer League game going on, expectations for your teams going into the NBA season, NFL, Major League Baseball, whatever it is, don't be afraid to throw them in the comment section. We'll do our best to answer them to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, and actually, Isaiah Joe's out for the rest of the game with shoulder soreness.
Does it look like it's something serious or something that they're managing?
I think they're just managing.
That's fine. Yeah. Don't want to take a chance of it maybe lingering and becoming anything more serious. Especially when it's so early. It's when is Summer League ends what? August, beginning or end of August?
I think so, yeah.
Because it can't end any earlier because
Hey, look, Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas is there?
Yeah, he's doing the commentary.
The former which one? The older Isaiah Thomas? Oh, okay, from the Bad Boys.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Isaiah Thomas that was playing recently.
No. Cam Thomas has 13 points, 2 for 9, 8 for 8 from the free throw line.
That guy's going to score points. I mean, that guy's going to get buckets like crazy. I'm not surprised Cam Thomas is, scoring points for the offense. It's just his defense, and the rest of his all-around game.
He's got 13 points.
He's good offensively. It's the rest of his game that's a problem. I mean, there's no problem with him putting the ball in the bucket. That's what his strength was when he was coming into the draft. He can't play defense. he's bad on the defensive end. That's why the Nets couldn't play him that much because he couldn't cover anybody. He's getting blown by every single time by the opposing player on the opposite team. Ah, crap. Oh well. The Mets lost 2-0. Good pitch game by Taiwan Walker though.
Oh my God. Yeah. That sucks, Randall.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he DM'd me that a while back.
Is it because his PIN number is not working, or it's just his card is just blocked?
I don't know.
Damn, that sucks, man. Hopefully they were able to clear it up for you so you can get your stuff.
And it's yeah.
Maybe if it's really becoming that persistent of a problem, maybe try to get a new card if possible. Or I mean, I don't know what it's like if you have to switch to another bank. I'm sure it's not easy. But I mean, it's probably just like a pain in the ass to do that. But what's the score of the Phillies game right now? I know the Mets just lost 2-0.
The Phillies, let me check.
That's a bad loss too. You can't be losing to the Marlins.
3-2.
3-2 Phillies.
Yeah.
What's the record right now?
Hold on.
Because I don't know what their record is, but they might be creeping up towards the NL East title too. I don't know how far they are from the Mets. That's a bad loss.
The Mets are 53-33. The Braves are 51-35, and the Phillies are 46-39.
Is that just after what happened today or before today?
Well, the game is still going on. Well, that's before today, I guess.
Oh, so then the Mets would be now 19 games over 500 because they just lost. So the Braves, if they win, I think they would be 2.5 or 3.5 games behind. I'm not sure. I gotta check. It's you can't be losing these games. Come on. You can't lose to the Marlins. It's just a bad loss. Card won't let me enter the pan. As soon as I entered it, it said decline. Funny thing. I mean, the only other thing is, do you not have enough money on the card, or is it maxed out? Do you have insufficient funds? That's the only thing I can think of.
Well, the Cardinals just tied the Phillies. The card won't let me enter my PIN. As soon as I entered it, it said decline. Funny thing is, a new bank and a new card, Jeff, in it. It's the bank that helped me get the house. I gotta pull money.
The Braves are tied 3-3 right now. Braves are tied 3-3 at the bottom of the ninth.
Apparently, it's the card. We have money.
Then I mean, you might have to just get a new card. You might have to just get a new card and or maybe get a new pin. Yeah, I just saw that. So the Braves are tied 3-3 in your Major League Baseball update. Braves are tied 3-3 in the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs with a man on second. Braves are at bat right now. And the Cardinals and the Phillies are tied 3-3, 1 out, bottom of the seventh with a man on third base. And the New York Mets earlier, just about a few minutes ago, they lost to the Marlins in 10, 2-0. So that's your NL East Major League Baseball update.
You can be good and lucky. In Warriors' case,
Let's see if I can.
But they also were lucky too.
Who else hit
not playing that much together, but finding themselves in a position to persevere and win a championship. That shot on the other end a moment ago was absolutely destroyed by Charles. Boom! Get it out of here. Bassey goes 6-11. Yeah, nothing you can do about that.
Let's see.
6-11 for Nigeria.
I'm gonna look up some more news.
And points per game for the Sixers as
Yeah, it's 46, 46, 719.
Back in December, he had a 13-point, 10-rebound
Apparently it's
the fourth Philadelphia rookie ever to put up those numbers.
well, what players on the Sixers are you guys expecting to maybe be contributors in terms of what you see in the summer league? Any of these guys have a shot at cracking the roster?
I don't think so.
Nobody?
I mean, Isaiah Joe's already there. Paul Reed is already there. Charlie Brown Jr. will go back and forth. People want Trevelon Queen there, but he's not even getting the minutes.
Why not?
It's the coaching staff here for the summer league.
What do I think of the Panthers getting another quarterback? Have fun, Matt Rule. Just have fun this year because you got a bunch of average quarterbacks on your team. And you got an injury-prone running back. I think it's going to be a miserable year for Carolina. Because I don't love Baker Mayfield. I don't like Sam Darnold at all. I thought this guy was going to be a lot better than he is. And I would not be surprised if Matt Corral gets playing time during the season for the Carolina Panthers. I would not be shocked one bit at all if Matt Corral is playing for this team this year. Not one bit. I don't like Baker Mayfield's game. I think he's a good quarterback when he's healthy, but I'm not a fan of what that Carolina Panthers team has around him. I think DJ Moore's a terrific receiver. I think Terrace Marshall could be a pretty good player. When McCaffrey's actually healthy, he's a good running back. And Robbie Anderson is too busy, retiring, unretiring, saying things about the quarterback in the past. I mean, who knows? And that offensive line is a big question, too. I do like their defense, though. So I will say that. I do like the Carolina Panthers defense if they can remain healthy. But I'm not really liking that Panthers team this year at all. I think they're a big-time question going into the season.
And you know he's good at it because he don't even get excited when he scores.
So Cam Thomas is going to the line again.
You see the difference. We've seen it every year. You see the difference between players who have gotten a real taste of NBA competition coming back for their second season. In summer league.
Cam Thomas got 18 points.
I just had the thing streaming before, but I just lost the stream. It's like I'm trying to get it back. It's difficult for me to get the stream back because it's on this laptop. If I have too many things going at once, it just freezes it.
It's 50-51 Sixers. Do you think the Eagles have the best wide receiver core in the NFC? No. I think the Bucks do.
In the NFC, no. I gotta think of the NFC receiving cores right now. The Bucks have a good one when Godwin is healthy, but is Godwin healthy? I think if Gallup can come back from that ACL injury, I think the Cowboys wide receiver core is still good.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
I gotta change that. I'm not Zion.
I think that the Panthers wide receiver core is not terrible. I can't say the Packers. They're not good. The Saints. The Saints actually have a pretty good wide receiver core, too. It's just the question is, what is Michael Thomas after not playing after 2 years? Are you going to get a strong first year from Chris Olave? And is Jarvis Landry still, top of the league slot receiver? So, I mean, you have to think about that. I think the Saints could have a good wide receiver core. The Commanders, theirs might not be that bad. The 49ers still have Debo. I think Brandon Ayuk is one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. He had a great season last year. In terms of the AFC, I mean, the Bengals, obviously. Dolphins, prove it to me when it comes to, with Tua. Raiders, I agree with that. Broncos, I would put up there. I think Sutton, Judy, Hamler, Patrick are a good wide receiver core. I would even say the Chargers have a good wide receiver core overall. I like that Rams wide receiver core too with Robinson. The Bills, I want to see what Gabriel Davis could do this year, now being the clear-cut number 2 receiver, because he's always been like at situational number 3, number 4 guy with the Bills for a few seasons. I want to see what he could be like. I know he exploded in that game against the Chiefs. What is he going to be like this year being the clear-cut number 2 next to Diggs? The Rams, I agree. Robinson, Kupp, and even Van Jefferson, I think they're a good wide receiver core. Raiders, I think, will be one of the top ones. I think they're incredibly talented at 1 and 2. I even like Robinson. Dawson Knox is good. Dawson Knox is a solid tight end for them. I mean, the Eagles, obviously, you got to put up there as long as Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown can stay healthy. I think I'm actually going to put it out there. You guys think I might be crazy? I think the Jets wide receiver core is going to be much better than people think. I like Garrett Wilson. I think Elijah Moore, if he can stay healthy, is a good slot receiver. Corey Davis is that veteran guy that can be your possession guy at that wide receiver position. Bernard and Berrios is very solid. You get anything from Denzel Mims. He's pretty good. I would even throw out the Vikings. Justin Jefferson. Let's give Justin Jefferson the love he deserves. Adam Thielen, when he's healthy, he's still a good productive player. KJ Osborne, he's solid. So, I mean, you can't forget about the Vikings wide receiver core. They're pretty good. What are you going to get for Kirk Cousins? That's the question. So, I mean, you have other wide receiver core options out there. Broncos, can they stay healthy? Can the Denver Broncos wide receiver core stay healthy? That's the question. Sutton coming off his second year from the ACL tear. Patrick has just been sturdy as a good wide receiver. Where's Jerry Jeudy's head after what's been going on with him this offseason? Had sort of a down year in his second year. What are you going to get from him? What are you going to get from KJ Hamler coming back from the torn ACL? So he's another question mark. I mean, you got a bunch of guys. But I think their wide receiver core, in terms of talent, is pretty solid. And you guys might even think I'm crazy. The Giants wide receiver core is not that bad either if everybody can remain healthy. You can't tell me Kenny Galladay is not a decent wide receiver when he's healthy. You can't tell me that Kadarius Toney, after what he showed at times, he can't be explosive. Sterling Shepard is a sturdy wide receiver at the slot position, even though he's coming off an Achilles tear. Darius Slayton as a situational deep threat. He could be something. And then what are you going to get from the rookie Wan'Dale Robinson? Wan'Dale Robinson could be a do-it-all type wide receiver. You can put anywhere in that lineup, and he can do everything. So I even think their wide receiver is not that bad. Wide receiver core is not that bad.
Petrusek gets an easy bucket for his first 2 points of the game. Petrusek was a second-round pick last year, and stashed in Europe played Turkey.
You like Galladay? Randy likes Galladay.
What else?
Randy. What up, Chad?
What's going on, Chad? Galladay is on thin ice for me. Out of every single player on that offensive side of the football, Galladay is on the thinnest ice for me because you don't pay a guy $72
Brown in the corner.
million.
Brick.
You don't pay a guy $72 million to have the numbers that he had. Under 530 receiving yards, no touchdowns, like 35 catches during the season, no. Galladay has to have a much better season this year than he had last year. That goes for everybody in that offense. Everybody was horrendous last year. But it's not all their fault because the scheming was garbage. The offensive line was garbage. Quarterback play was suspect the entire season. So Broncos as a team are underrated. That whole AFC West is going to be so much fun to watch. I know this has become an NFL talk all of a sudden on the NBA stream, but
No, we're good. It's actually 59-58, and the Nets turn over the ball. Charlie Brown Jr. with the dunk. There we go. It's 61-58 with 3:06 left.
I think he gets enough recognition. He might get more playing time this year. Now that they revamped that core.
That was a travel, but they don't call travels anymore these days. Cassius Winston goes down. He lays it up. It gets blocked, but Ellison gets it back.
They still call travels, just not as much as they used to.
Yeah, they don't really call it.
They should. I mean, I don't know why they don't. I mean, you see people traveling left and right. Sometimes they're too lenient.
Brooklyn turn over the ball. So, and it's a timeout.
Come on, stop turning over the ball, guys. Is Emmanuel Sanders still on the Bills, or is he a free agent?
I don't know. I think so. I would love
I
for
don't
that.
know what happened to him. I know Beasley. I know Beasley's gone. They replaced him with Jamison Crowder as their slot receiver. I know Isaiah McKenzie came back. He re-signed with them. I don't know if Sanders is a free agent or if if he resigned. I'm not sure if he signed with somebody else. I have no idea where he is. But they're banking on obviously Gabriel Davis to take that leap after what he showed in that game against Kansas City. Which he could, but he's got to prove it more than one game. He's still a free agent. Okay. He could be a guy that is waiting until after camp if there's some teams that have injuries at their wide receiver position to eventually get signed. A bunch of players are going to do that. They're waiting for a team to lose a primary wide receiver in their core, and then Sanders could be a guy that gets signed. It's like, a decent-sized contract.
Yep. You're going to any Nets games this year or no?
I'll try to. I mean, it depends on how expensive the tickets are and if the team is worth going to watch. I mean, I'm a little bit aggravated with everything. They brought in Taven Austin tonight too. Okay, thank you, Randall.
Yeah. They got a new running back too, right?
Dalvin Cook's younger brother, James
Right.
Cook.
No, they got McKissick, and then he went back to Washington.
Yeah, which I think is smart because he has no role on that team. They got Zach Moss, they got Singletary, and they just got James Cook. In terms of the Nets, no, I got to see what this team is going to do the rest of the season and how expensive tickets are because tickets for the Nets games they're hell of expensive to get to that arena. It's a beautiful arena though when you actually get a chance to go, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm still seeing if I want to go to a Giants game this year too, because I would like to head back to the trash can known as MetLife Stadium, which I hate that stadium.
So last year, in the beginning of the season, it was week 1.
Mm-hmm.
I predicted the Bills to win the Super Bowl over the Buccaneers, and I was so close.
That have actually not been a bad prediction.
I was so close. And the other people, I was like, Mitch, what are you doing? You're going to look like an idiot. I'm like, am I? Like, dude,
well, if the Bills knew how to finish out that game against Kansas City, I think they would have had the best shot to get to the Super Bowl. So I think they were overall a better team.
I think they could have beaten the Rams.
I think the Bengals could have beaten the Rams too. I will continue to say that. The Bengals, I think, had a good shot to beat the Rams. They just collapsed at the end. I think the Rams, I think it's because my breakout player on the Nets, I would say Cam Thomas, but get back to me on that a little bit later in the offseason, Randall, and I'll give you a better idea because right now I have to see how the rest of this team plays out during the offseason. I would say TJ Warren, too. The guy that they signed to a 1-year deal from the Indiana Pacers who's missed a couple of seasons. I like him. He was a good player in the bubble. You have to see how he's going to come back from injury, though. So I'd probably say Cam Thomas or TJ Warren right now.
Finish your thought on the best. What? What are you talking about?
On the game?
It's like finish your thought on the basketball.
Maybe he's talking about like what I was talking about with the Nets going to some of the games.
Oh, but
I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens with that. Have to see what the team looks like for the rest of the offseason and what happens with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Are you planning on going to some Sixers games?
Maybe. Years ago, my dad and I had like a 10-game plan. So it was like when the Clippers had Lob City, Miami had LeBron, the Lakers. That was like the best time.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to see. I like TJ Warren too. I think if he can come back healthy, he's a good player. The question is, what is he right now? He's another question mark for Brooklyn. What is this guy coming off 2 years of pretty much playing no basketball because he's been out with injuries the entire time. It's another guy that's a big question mark, like Ben Simmons. The Nets are so many question marks heading into the season, obviously including their 2 stars that are still on the team.
Yep. End of the third, Sixers down by 1, 66, 67.
I mean, I can't really tell you what the Nets are this year. I really don't. I have to see what this team is like for the rest of the year.
All right, yep.
But anybody else, if you guys have any other questions, just throw them in the chat. We'll be here to answer anything that you guys want to talk about, whether it's involving the game, whether it's involving any other topics you guys want to talk about. We're here to answer anything and everything to the best of our abilities going forward. Thank you guys very much for being here.
Oh, Taya Conti and Sammy Guevara are getting married?
Yeah, I think didn't they get married already?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been married. I think they got married a few weeks ago. I
No,
believe.
it's like I'm looking at it now. Someone, Nikki Ash posted countdown to the wedding is on, and that was like 3 days ago.
Nikki Ash.
Yeah.
It's the most relevant thing she's done with the company in
Look,
months.
see?
Well, I'm not surprised she's there. She's friends, I'm guessing, with Tay and Sammy. Also because her husband, Killian Dane, I think, was doing some stuff, Big Damo, with AEW, I believe, for a couple of shows.
What do we think about the Giants? They got a lot of stuff to work on. I'm just being nice.
Question marks. Potential. Some good young players with high upside. You know, what is Daniel Jones right now? What is Saquon Barkley right now? What is Kenny Galladay? What is Kadarius Toney? What is Sterling Shepard? What is Andrew Thomas? What is Xavier McKinney? Adoree Jackson? Blake Martinez? Leonard Williams? Dexter Lawrence? I can go on and on. What are you going to get from Kayvon Thibodeau? What are you going to get from Evan Neal? What are you going to get from Wan'Dale Robinson and all these other undrafted and drafted players? The Giants are so many question marks coming into this season because it's a lot of guys that are unproven. Either they haven't stepped foot into the and played a game for the Giants yet, or there are a lot of guys that have major injury questions, and they're going into last years of their contracts, i.e., Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Blake Martinez, to name a few. Giants are a team full of questions, but if things break their way, they could be a team that could surprise. And what is Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka, and these guys in terms of coaching? They've never been a head coach or assistant coach or anything, or offensive coordinator or anything like that for the New York Giants yet so far, until we find out during the season. Maybe they're great, maybe they're not. We'll see. It's the best I could say about the New York Giants until I see what they can do on the field. But
Is it me or is this game this game feels a little longer, but it's going at the same pace.
that's a summer league game. They're all
I
going
know,
to be
but
like
it's like the game yesterday went by super quick.
It's probably because it was more exciting, more action-packed,
Yeah.
more to it. Now it's just like, meh. Too many turnovers, no exciting plays. It's just blah.
Yeah. Miles Power up. Didn't even get the N1. Okay.
Can't even get the and one. Come on, bro.
Now they're in the Nets get the foul. Ugh, they're going to the line.
Who's stepping to the line right now? My stream went down, so I can't get the game at the moment. Let's see. You hear what happened with Dwayne Brown?
What about him?
He got arrested at Los Angeles International Airport for possession of concealable firearm.
Oh my God.
The former Pro Bowl left tackle for the Seahawks and the Panthers. I mean, I hope
Yeah,
everything's gonna be all right, but geez, that's
I think he's done.
maybe he's unsigned right now. I guess no. Well, obviously, no team's gonna take a chance on him right now until
Is,
all the charges are cleared. But that's
is
a
Green
shame.
Bay going to be as good as they were last year? No, I don't think they're going to be as good.
Green Bay. Tell me what they're gonna be like. I got to see what some of these young players can bring. I mean, that offense could take a big time hit without Devontae Adams. What is Alan Lazard as a number one receiver? Is Christian Watson gonna develop quicker than many think? What is Randall Cobb this year? Sammy Watkins is brought in there. It's so muddled there, and then also you lost a guy like Zadarius Smith from your defense, who is maybe your best pass rusher. So how is Jair Alexander going to play his, now that he got the bag in terms of a new big contract at cornerback? What are you going to get from the rest of that defense? Preston Smith,
Oh,
Rashawn Gary, etc.
nice hook shot by Charlie Brown Jr. We need Snoopy. 73 to 72.
Next thing you'll
Can you
see is
imagine if your name is Charlie Brown Jr.?
I'm sure there's somebody out there that's got a Charlie Brown Jr. Name in one of his streams. Like one of these people are probably out there being named Charlie Brown Jr. and probably like, who the hell? Why the hell did I ever deserve a name like that? Do I look like somebody that's gonna have some? Do I look like somebody that's gonna have a football raised in front of me and I'm gonna do a missed kick and fall on my ass? Do I really look like that type of person? No.
Yeah. My dad was going to name me Glenn.
Glenn.
Yeah.
You don't look like a Glenn.
I was going to be named Aaron, but my grandfather could not pronounce it. So Aaron's my middle name, Mitchell's my first.
I was actually supposed to be named Jeremy.
Really?
Yes, that was my original name. But then eventually, I guess, my parents decided to go with Jeff instead, which I think fits a little bit better. But yeah, I was supposed to be Jeremy originally.
So you're going to laugh. A very good friend of mine off YouTube. I've known this guy for like my whole entire life. His name is Jeremy, but his initials spell Jiz. Jiz.
Oh, God.
I laugh at that every chance I get. And he looks like when he was younger, he looked like Justin Bieber. So I still call him Bieber to this day.
Are you talking about Justin Bieber now? Or
I just call him Justin Bieber because he had the hair.
the mullet?
My buddy named
Or the
Jeremy,
mop
he
top?
had the hair like Bieber when he was
Mop
younger.
top? Oh, the mop top.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It was so great. I could text him right now and be like, yo, what up, Bieber? And he would laugh.
Yeah, I'd probably say I'm in the lab right now trying to come out with my next album. I hope you're
I
going to
got
like
to
it.
tell him that one.
It's going to come out platinum.
Yeah. I mean, Justin Bieber, IRL, he's not doing that well.
Well, I hope he's going to be doing a little bit. I hope for the best for him. I never want to hear anybody that's struggling with whatever it is, any type of issues. You want to try to see the best for him. So
Yeah.
hopefully Justin Bieber will be all right.
When I was younger, I despised Bieber. Like, I could not stand the music. I could not stand anything.
Well, that's what everybody is like when they're younger when it comes to that stuff. It's just the nature of your age group. I mean, when I was younger, there was the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98 Degrees. Those bands were out there. I wasn't a fan of them. I grew up listening to old school hip hop. I listened to Korn, Limp Bizkit, those types of bands. That was like the thing to listen to in the 90s. 3 Day what do you call it? I just forgot the name of the band. Third Eye Blind, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Three Doors Down, those rock bands that were out that were popular at the time. It was just, depending on the genre, type of music that you were into. As well as I listened to Coolio, LL Cool J, Puff, P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him, Notorious B.I.G., Tupac, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, like that type of hip hop that was around. And then obviously Ludacris, Kanye West, during the early 2000s. It just depends on the type of genre of music you like. Eminem. That was music I got into.
My dad got me into like the Beatles. So I can listen to the Beatles. My dad got me into Seal. So and I like rap. Yeah.
That's an odd combination, the Beatles and Seal.
And I like rap. So all my music is like.
Well, I mean, I got into the Rolling Stones when I was at a young age. They actually played in, I think, 1992, 93. They played at the old Giants Stadium. And I went there on like a really bad rainy day with my parents. And I was able to go see the Rolling Stones when I was a kid. It was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. And the Rolling Stones have always been like a favorite of my mom and my dad. And I've always appreciated their music. When you're younger and you have your parents telling you, like, for instance, about classic rock like Pink Floyd, The Who, Beach Boys, The Beatles, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, all those types of bands that were like big in the 60s and the 70s, Led Zeppelin, you really don't get a certain appreciation for them when like you're a younger kid. But the second you get a little bit older, you realize in the end, be like, these bands are actually a lot better than we think, and their music is actually pretty good. And that's actually my go-to music in what I listen to all the time on the radio. I always put on, Q104.3, which is the local station in New Jersey, and I always put on that type of music because I just think it's really good music. And I've grown a certain appreciation for what those bands did. And I don't listen to like the music nowadays. I tune into more of like, the music I grew up listening to in the 90s, that kind of rock and roll and hip hop, as well as like, 60s and 70s classic rock music, as well as some 80s stuff too.
I think Green Bay will lose a bit of a step, but they won't miss the playoffs because of this.
Oh, they're going to still make the playoffs. I'm still picking them to win the division. Until a team can come in there and knock the Green Bay Packers off that NFC South division, I think they're still going to win it. I'm sorry, NFC North. My apologies.
Right.
I still think they're going to win the division.
People have the Vikings winning it.
Vikings will definitely be an improved team this year. I think their defense got better. I think their offense is still solid. What are you going to get from Kirk Cousins? But I don't think they're still good enough yet to supplant the Green Bay Packers in the NFC North. I still think it's the Packers division until proven otherwise. So I think Detroit is a team that could be on the rise, and the Bears are going to suck this year. They are. I think the Bears are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. So, thank you very much for the questions, guys. We appreciate it a lot. Keep throwing them in there. Keep asking any questions. Anything you want to talk about, we're always here to answer them. Subscribe if you haven't already to the channel, as well as to our individual channels if you haven't already. MYG Jeffy T 3285, Mitch Koski, as well as the Hardcore Sports Network. And leave a comment below at the end of the video of any type of feedback or any other questions you want to ask. And if you enjoyed the video at all, please hit the like button below.
Yeah. Hopefully we just made a bucket. So there we go. Cassius Winston. And apparently, what was his name? Dang, I missed it. It was a Nets player got a poster. Cam Thomas missed it. Cam Thomas missed a free throw.
Cam Thomas is a streaky shooter. He's got to be
more for three. No.
Oh,
I'm starting to not like James Springer. He's athletic. That's it.
Well, he's got to develop the rest of his game. He's still a young
guy. I know.
He's got to develop the rest of his game. He's still probably a decent player.
He is.
Just maybe, not as good as maybe you originally thought. Like, expected or you were hoping for. So, I don't know. Well, thank God Charlie Marte avoided the DL. That's a good thing.
And we got a commercial break. No, I'm actually done for tonight. We got a couple shows for the network. We've got the Yankees and Red Sox live play-by-play at 7. I still got to finish doing something with that. And then we got premium takes at 8:30 with Matt the Giants fan, Jeff, Zion, Zenith, and Adam Costas. So
Make sure you guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to their channels. Excellent Giants content creators. Have been working with them for the past few months. Some of the best guys. They know their stuff. Zion is one of the best when it comes to creating the thumbnails, creating the background music. Zion is incredibly awesome with that. He's also very knowledgeable on the UFC. Adam Costas is one of the most passionate New York Giants, WWE wrestling, Brooklyn Nets fans you'll ever find. The guy just bleeds out fire and passion. And Mac the Giants fan, incredibly passionate New York Mets fan, great New York Giants fan, WWE wrestling, occasionally as well as with the UFC, knows his stuff, love working with these guys. We're going to try to bring the best show for you guys tonight on the Premium Take. So make sure if you haven't already, subscribe to their channel. They'll also be doing their live streams individually as well as the Hardcore Sports Network stream later on tonight. So if you guys haven't already, sub up to their channels. They do excellent work.
Do I have a busy day for tomorrow? I got work in the morning. Tomorrow's Monday, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I have work in the morning, and then I don't think I have any streams scheduled as of right now. But that could be changing.
I might have a couple of things cooking later in the week. I
got MK headlines on Tuesday. But other than that, nothing. And then I got a play-by-plays coming up.
Yeah, I don't have anything brewing yet. I might, as the week's going on, I might have something coming.
Lucas, you're going to like this. I have, when my partners over at the Painted Lines, we're doing like an all-time Sixers draft, like a 3-on-3 thing, which is going to be cool. I can't wait for that. That's Thursday night. That'll be on the Painted Lines channel and on mine. So that would be really cool.
Every time I think of Painted Lines, I think of that old Blurred Lines song.
Right. Yep. I did that at first.
I apologize if that's like random out of nowhere. I don't know where that came from, but it just popped in my head. I'm like, why is this song that was not even that good popping in my head?
For all-time Sixers, if somehow, some way I get this, I kind of doubt it. AI, Embiid, and Chamberlain. No.
You're missing somebody.
Nope, I'll take Embiid out and put Julius Erving in there.
There you go. I was about to say, how the hell can you not put Julius Erving?
Yeah, my bad. I was just thinking about Irving. I was thinking about
You took him from us. He was a net, and then he went over to your team, and I think he won a championship.
Hey, you had him he came from the ABA to you guys.
Yes, he did, and I believe he won some ABA championships with us too.
What year?
Greatest, I believe in the 80s.
Right,
70s or 80s, I
won
believe he won the
NBA. 83.
Yeah, because the Nets weren't an NBA franchise until I believe the late 80s. Then they officially became an NBA franchise when they played in because they were playing in New York at that time until they eventually moved over to New Jersey in the Meadowlands area next to Giants Stadium.
Yeah, I can't wait for Thursday. So if I get first pick, I'm taking Wilt Chamberlain first.
If I had to pick all-time Nets,
yeah, who would you take for 3-on-3?
3-on-3?
Yeah.
That's some good ones. Jason Kidd would have to be in there.
Right.
I'd probably put Drazen Petrovic with what he did.
Okay.
And
don't put KD in there.
No, KD hasn't done enough. Can't put Kyrie. I mean, if you're going by sheer accomplishments, what they did, KD and Kyrie would have to be there automatically. Brook Lopez, all-time leading scorer in Nets history. Might have to throw him in there. I got Derek Coleman. I got Kenyon Morton.
Somebody.
I got Kenny Anderson.
Did you say Irving?
Oh, yeah, how could I not put I just Julius Erving. I'd probably put Julius. If you're going by what they've done with the Nets, I'd probably say Julius Erving, Drazen Petrovic, Jason Kidd. Those would probably be my top three.
Yeah. And you know who's actually a sleeper? Not a lot of Sixers fans will pick this guy. Mutombo. Not a lot of people. I loved Mutombo.
Mostly, wasn't he?
Huh?
What was Mutombo's team they played with? Oh no, he's a Hawk. He was Atlanta Hawk.
What up, Raphael?
Raph, what's on, man? If you haven't already, subscribed to his channel as well. Love what he was doing with the face-to-face stuff. Had the opportunity to be able to appear on his channel. Does a lot of good work in terms of that, where he gives you a face-to-face 30 to an hour, interaction with what he does with his channel. So he gets like a good full description on what you do in terms of your content and stuff. So if you haven't already, subscribed to Raphael Chassis.
Yep. I was actually on Face to Face. I was his second guest for that.
I appeared on his show maybe about a little less than a month ago with Mac the Giants fan. We did about a little over an hour section. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I like what Raph did with that whole concept. It's something different. That's what you need to have. You need to have a different concept with that kind of stuff to stand out.
So there's an arena in Las Vegas for the Summer League. It's called Cox Pavilion.
Is that near the?
I don't know where it is. It's in Vegas. I don't know where.
Is it near the Golden Knights Arena?
I don't know.
Here's a question: do you think that Las Vegas is going to
Cox Pavilion? Like, why?
Tell that to the people in Las Vegas. They're the ones that named it. But, I mean, do you think you're going to see an NBA team or a Major League Baseball team in Las Vegas anytime soon now that they got an NHL and NFL team? So I heard they're not very happy about the NFL team. I mean,
why?
I don't know. I just think they're not happy with, it's maybe hurting profits over there. It's maybe not getting, the type of draw that it was first assumed it would get. I heard, that the people in Las Vegas are not big fans of it. The Las Vegas teams right now, especially the Raiders, but I don't know. I would not be surprised if an NBA team and a Major League Baseball team start coming their way soon, because nobody ever thought that they would have a pro team there in general, and now they have a hockey and a football team. So I think it's a matter of time until a Major League Baseball and an NBA team eventually make their way to Las Vegas.
It looks like the Sixers are about to lose. It's 85-79 with 36 seconds left. Jaden's finger in the corner. Great. Now 30 seconds left. Can we do something? Probably not. And there's a timeout.
Let's go, Cam Thomas.
So wait, is that their first? That's going to be their first summer league win for the Nets.
I don't care. They can go winless the entire summer league. Show me what they got during the season.
Right.
I don't care if the Giants go 0-3 in preseason. I don't care.
Vegas is a big market.
It only matters when the season starts.
Right.
They are a big market, yes, but the gambling aspect is still something you got to play in there during the season. And also, how is the public that have been living there before they started bringing in these big franchises, how have they've been, going about it, this entire time, if there's been a disruption at all with the public in Las Vegas. So it's a brand new concept that they're bringing in, because I think the Vegas Golden Knights are 3-4 years old, and the Las Vegas Raiders, I think their debut season was this past year, right?
Who?
The Las Vegas Raiders, their first year in Vegas was this past year, right?
I think so. Or
yeah, I think so. So you have to let the fan base, you have to let the residents in Las Vegas eventually get used to it and see how they make in terms of a profit if they get a good showing. They still have to garner a fan base, and I think
the Phillies lost, yeah, and the Sixers are about to lose.
I mean, the Cardinals are a good team, so it's not going to be easy playing against the Cardinals. Your bullpen is not that good either. You guys need to really fix that bullpen in Philadelphia.
We just need to fix stuff in general.
You guys need help. I mean, that team still needs help. I know you have a over 500 record, but
yeah, Gallinari just signed a 2-year, $13.3 million with the Celtics.
Who did?
Gallinari.
That's not bad. What's up, Sixers endgame?
What up, man? What is up? How you doing? First time someone actually called me Mitchell instead of Mitch. I'm shocked.
Surprised nobody's ever called me Jeffrey yet.
Well,
Well, there you go. There's some breaking news right there. Danilo Gallinari has signed a 2-year, $13 million contract with the Boston Celtics. There's your in-game breaking news during the Brooklyn Nets versus Philadelphia 76ers play-by-play in the Summer League.
Now,
A little bit of NBA free agency news.
Gallinari, does that make them finals contenders again? I mean, they did get Brogdon and Gallinari.
I think they'll be in there. Do I think they're going to be the I probably still put them as the favorites because I got to respect the fact they were there last year. But if that Bucks team is healthy, I really like that team. I still might have I might have to go with the Bucks as the favorites in the I almost said the NFC, the Eastern Conference. Because I think the Bucks, the Hawks, the Heat, if KD and Durant are still there, the Nets, the Sixers, the Celtics, all those teams will be in there in terms of competing for that Eastern Conference championship over there. There'll be like at least 6 or 7 teams that could potentially, compete for the Eastern Conference finals. So I'd probably have to say the Celtics are the favorites right now, just giving respect to them since they did win the Eastern Conference. But I think the Bucks might have the most talent to be the perennial favorites going into
Even the Heat?
season. Yes, I would put the Bucks over the Heat. I like that Bucks team. I think the Middleton injury really crushed that team. And if he could come back healthy, I like that Bucks team a lot going into next season. The Nets are a wild card right now too because of the whole Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving situation.
And then you got the Sixers. For me, I think we're second round exit again.
Why do you say that? I love your confidence.
Because for me, it's just like we have Embiid, we got Harden sort of, and we got Maxey. We got a better bench, but I feel like we're just missing a couple more pieces, and we have Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers is not that bad of a coach. Would you rather have Steve Nash?
I mean, you can go either way.
Don't you dare say you'd rather have Steve Nash. Don't you dare say you'd rather have Steve Nash. Steve Nash is a disaster. He was the disaster for the team. Doc Rivers at least has experience coaching in the NBA. And while he does struggle with some in-game decisions that he makes, Steve Nash was clueless last year. He was one of the big reasons why that team underachieved. So I would take Doc Rivers in a nanosecond over Steve Nash right now. I'm sorry. I'm taking Doc Rivers any day of the week and 10 times on Sunday.
Well, how many years has Steve Nash been a coach?
2.
Okay. If this doesn't work for him this year, would you let him go?
I think the organization is still going to hold on to him because I think the owner still likes Steve Nash. But
Who, Marks?
No, Joe Tsai. Marks, I think, still. I don't know about. I don't even know what Marks thinks right now. Marks has got his own problems to deal with the whole Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving situation. But I think Joe Tsai still likes Steve Nash because I think he wants to know how it plays out with him with this maybe potential young core that they're trying to put together. Steve Nash, he seems like he regressed as a head coach this past season compared to his first year. So I got to see more from Steve Nash, coming into this season as a head coach, and hopefully he learns more about like the little things in terms of coaching compared to what he did last year and the year before, because he was an out-and-out disaster, and he cannot be one of the reasons why this team can't get over they can't break the glass ceiling and get further than what the expectations have been given on this team for the past couple of years. Period.
So here are the stats for the Sixers. Charlie Brown Jr., 14 points, 4 boards, 2 steals. Cassius Winston, 16 points, 7 assists, 5 boards. Tarek Bassey, 11 points, 9 boards, 1 block. Malik Ellison, 8 points, 5 boards, and 3 blocks. Isaiah Joe looked sharp. Yeah, Isaiah Joe was good before he got injured. And Cam Thomas finished with 26 points, 15 from the free throw line, 7 assists, 2 steals.
So I mean that that's one thing that I like what I'm seeing right now is he's developing the rest of his game. He's getting more assists right now. He's good at driving to the basket and creating fouls. Cam Thomas, that's one of his best attributes in his game is he's able to go to the basket and create fouls to get to the free throw line, which is always what you want in a player. It's just, he's got to develop he's got to develop his defensive game more. I think his offensive game will become a little bit more polished in his second year. Just got to work on the defensive side of the game.
Yeah.
What about the rest of the lineup? How did they do?
That's all I got right now.
There's nobody no other stats?
It was just Cam Thomas. That's all I got right now. I'll look it up in a bit.
Well, good for Cam Thomas because I think he's going to be one of the important pieces for this Nets team going into 2022, 2023, no matter who is on the roster.
Let me look real quick. That was we got Wizards and Suns next.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, the Bulls and Knicks are playing right now. The Knicks are winning 23-8.
He's got some nice young pieces on that roster, too.
All right. So, for the Nets, let's just keep scrolling. Sharp. Hold on. Oh, my God. Sharp's got 13 points, 11 boards, 4 assists.
I like that.
Yeah. Gray only finished with 2 and 8 boards, 2 steals.
It's more of a defensive and rebounding guy, not a scorer.
Edwards finished with 10 points, 3
Kessler
boards.
Edwards, I like that. Kessler Edwards.
There we go. Duke Jr. finished with 21, 5 boards.
That's the guys. Remember I was telling you earlier in the show?
Yeah.
Those are the 4 guys that were on the Nets last year. David Duke Jr., Kessler Edwards, Deron Sharp, and Cam Thomas. 4 of the guys that the Nets have been, grooming on their G League and their Summer League rosters. Those are 4 guys that they're hoping to contribute. I like to hear that Duke was able to score 20-plus points this game. Deron Sharp was able to get a double-double. And even Kessler Edwards was able to, contribute as well. He's like a 3-and-D guy that I like. And David Duke Jr. is just an all-around solid player. So I like hearing that.
And Charlie Brown Jr. got 14 off the bench for the Sixers, which is nice.
How did Adonis Williams do?
Who?
Adonis Williams for the Nets, the undrafted free agent at Wake Forest.
Oh, he didn't even play.
Oh, he didn't play? He must be hurt.
Oh, Adonis Williams, there it is. Got it. 9 points, 4 boards, 5 assists.
It's not bad. Now, a little bit more production I would hope for, but I mean, he is a rookie. He is an undrafted rookie playing his first few games in terms of competitive NBA basketball. So
Springer and turnovers killed us. Nobody else can shoot a 3. Give me AI for the coach. The Sixers don't even want AI to coach. That's the thing.
And why?
I don't know. They just don't want him part of this organization.
Have there been any Sixers players that have been coming by, at least supporting some of these young kids, and on the sidelines, sort of like with
of course. Yep. Sixers shot 9 for 28 from 3.
Jesus.
That's 32%. And you guys shot 5 for 19, which is 26.3%. Yes, I agree. They should with AI, but it won't happen.
I mean, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to give it a shot. I mean, why the hell not?
My first jersey ever. That's my first jersey. I still need to get that framed.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to give it a chance. I mean, why the hell not? It's a summer league game.
Are the 76ers going to trade for anybody? As of right now, I don't think they're going to make any trades, but I really want them to trade Tobias because of that contract. So,
are they really going to hold on to Tobias Harris?
I think they are, yeah.
Or they just can't find any way to trade him? There's just no...
Because there were trade talks during the year, there were trade talks, but couldn't even get anything.
It's probably because people can't take on. They don't want to take on his contract. Everything's similar to what the Nets have in Joe Harris. They're trying to trade him, like package him with like a Kyrie Irving or even like with a pick to try to maybe get a first round pick. But nobody wants Joe Harris right now because of his contract. So maybe that's it. So they might be forced to hold on to him. Same thing with Tobias Harris, that nobody wants to trade for that contract. So the Sixers figure, you know what, we're just going to hold on to him. Maybe we can see if we can get anything, if he shows anything production during the first half of the season, and maybe if he's not, maybe if he could get us anything, you trade him at the deadline.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Tobias Harris is like we had no choice because we couldn't afford to lose Jimmy Butler and Tobias, so we were put in a corner.
Should have kept Butler.
This is the last game again. You can make money off AI in his name, but treat him bad. I want AI. I want him.
You should have. That was one of the biggest mistakes. Is you should have signed Butler and let Tobias Harris go. Butler was the glue to that team.
Yeah, I mean,
Jimmy Butler was the glue to that Sixers team.
That was the team that could have won the championship. That was the team.
With Simmons, Butler, Tobias Harris, Embiid, Redick, that was a good team. Was Danny Green there or no? I forget.
No.
That was a little bit before him. Yeah, that was a good team. Was Seth Curry? No, Seth Curry wasn't there. That was a good team.
Yeah, we could have got Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
True.
That was your best chance to win.
Now, we do have a backup center issue. I mean, if you guys really want... I want Paul Reed to play it, but it's like, again with Doc Rivers.
Who's your backup center?
We got nobody right now. Andre Drummond went to the Bulls.
That's right. I don't know why I thought you guys had DeAndre Jordan, but no.
We did. Then he became a free agent. I forget where he went.
I wouldn't be surprised if we went back to the Clippers. That guy's career fell off incredibly. DeAndre Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the top centers in the league for a while, and then he just fell off the face of the cliff. Because once he's lost his athleticism, he was nowhere near the same type of player he was. It's a shame because he was actually a really good shot blocker. He was a good inside presence, always there for the Lob City. Good inside post scorer with Blake Griffin. Oh, he went to the Nuggets. Okay, that's right. He went to the Nuggets as their backup center, along with Bruce Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Nuggets did a good job building up some depth on their roster.
All right. So that concludes this live play-by-play. Thank you for joining us. We talked about everything, like literally everything. We talked baseball. We talked football. We talked basketball, free agency, trades. We
even talked about music.
Yeah, we talked about music for a little bit. That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude, I just like...
I hope everybody... Go ahead, Mitch.
No. You're good.
I hope everybody here enjoyed the stream. Before we head out, if you guys haven't already, please hit the like button below. Subscribe to Mitch Kofsky as well as NYG Jeffy T3285. Mitch is always going to be there to bring his MK in the morning every single Saturday at 10 a.m. He's also going to be doing a lot of the Sixers broadcasts. I'm going to be doing my premium take show later tonight on the Hardcore Sports Network with Adam Costas, Mac the Giants fan, and Zion Zenith at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, as well as I cover the New York Football Giants, the Brooklyn Nets, the New York Mets, WWE Wrestling, and occasionally I'll have some food for thought, like maybe some interestingly fun food challenges. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Thank you very much for being here on the stream. Thank you for the questions, the feedback, and everything. We appreciate you guys. We're doing this because of you, so we appreciate everything that you guys do for us. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And make sure you support every single person involved with the Hardcore Sports Network, as well as every single person in the YouTube community, no matter what teams they cover. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lawrence, for that nice comment right there. Those are the comments that go a long way.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, guys, we'll catch you all later. Just subscribe to the Hardcore Sports Network. I think we're at 109 right now. So go down there, hit that subscribe. we're on the road to 1K or 200, whatever you want to call it over there. So
We're on the road to 110.
AK goes, we're on the road to 1K over there. I'm like, dude, we're on the road to 200 first.
I like that. That's actually got a nice ring to it. AK on the road to like AK to 1K. There you go.
And I could do that with MK to 2K, but it's just like,
yeah, I could do that. Jeffy T to 220. That's
that
terrible.
works.
That's terrible. No,
You know what?
terrible.
Oh, hold on. I was doing like a comment section. I was doing a stream. I don't think it was for Premium Takes. I think it was I forget who it is. And I was like, kick the like button through the uprights.
Tackle the like button. Catch the like. No, that doesn't make sense.
Well, we
Smash
could
the like button. Run through the like button.
We could catch it, but Rega would drop it.
Punch the like button. Do whatever you want. It's whatever you guys think. Just we appreciate seriously you guys supporting us all the time. We really do.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll catch you all later. Have a good rest of your day.
Take it easy, everybody.
Sixers suck. Woo.
Let's go Nets.
Good win. You deserve it.